It's early in the second quarter. Things are looking good for the Warriors, even after a tough Game 7 versus the Houston Rockets. But then, seems like disaster strikes. Steph Curry's dribbling up the court, as you see right here, around a Quinton post screen, gives the ball up to Draymond Green, and you see him right here grab at his calf muscle. The play plays on a little bit. Draymond Green motions for Steph Curry to come, and it seems like he's able to move here pretty well, puts up the shot, and it seems like he's clutching his hamstring as he goes back. You see him gingerly walking, saying, hey, I need some help on the defensive end, and I really want to examine here. He basically parks himself by Mike Conley right here and realizes, hey, I'm not going to be able to move. I need to get off the court. And that's when I knew something was really wrong with Steph Curry, and likely we were going to need to do something about it. Something needed to change. So let's review some of the medicine here. Obviously, hamstring injury. What's the hamstring made of? 3 different types of muscles. First, the bicep femoris, which is probably the most commonly talked about muscle in the hamstring, so to say. And then we have this left semitendinosus as well as the semimembranosus, which is the other muscle right here. Sometimes, a lot of times, we can talk about the adductor muscles, which are the inside of the muscles of the back part of the thigh, or the posterior compartment as they're called. But essentially for this film review, I think the left semimembranosus, left semitendinosus, and the biceps femoris, those are going to be the 3 muscles that I think possibly could have been injured in this case. I think, though, these muscles, it's important to look at them as a group, and a lot of times hamstrings are usually grouped together. So when we move into the 3 grades of hamstring injury. First, there's grade 1 hamstring injuries, which is just only a few muscles or tendons that are basically ripped and there's some inflammation. It seemed like he was ruled out instantly, which means any of these are possible. Grade 1 usually means he can't return, but he could still move. So it's likely that this is a grade 1. But a grade 2 sprain would definitely mean something more severe, like a partial muscle tear, and that's going to take at least 2 weeks likely. And a grade 3 hamstring strain, which is very unlikely, I find, in this type of case, he might have to be out for the entire playoffs and potentially until the NBA Finals if the Warriors were to make it there. But definitely a lot to worry about with the grade 3 strain. However, based on his symptoms, I think a grade 1 strain is actually the most likely outcome here, just because he had some inflammation. He was able to move though still and actually jog down the court. It felt like he maybe was clutching a little bit, but it wasn't like he was on the ground. And there seemed non-contact if we look back at the film. So I'm suspecting definitely a grade 1 injury. So what's the recovery timeline look like? At best, probably he's going to miss Game 2 and come back for Game 3, which is a couple of days away. But he might miss until Game 4, so the Warriors definitely need to win tonight, and so they're going to have to keep up their 20-plus point lead as I'm watching right now, and hope that they can hold on, because it's unlikely Steph Curry returns for Game 2, and he might not be able to return for Game 3, and if it's really severe like a grade 2, he might not be able to return for the entire series. So definitely a worrisome injury for the Warriors, and hopefully something that they can recover from, and hopefully they win Game 1 to give him a little bit more time and make them feel a little bit more comfortable with him coming back. Thank you guys for watching.